So after the ending of episode 1, Tariq knows he screwed up, and he screwed up big. He not only kept the burner cell that he used to contact Jabari on, he answered the phone when Kevin Whitman called, and they traced this back to Stansfield. So I'm expecting Stansfield to be crawling with cops in episode 2 of the second season, with them finding one of the main suspects, which I think will be Carrie, which was foreshadowed in the first episode. Now Tariq will have more issues than just he has been taken by child services, because he'll have issues with his love life, with Lauren as well, and I think this is when he'll find it really hard to balance his time with Lauren, because he's going to be so worried with everything else going on in his life, which he can't be open and honest to her about. We're also going to see Monet, Kane and Tariq meeting, because there was a second preview for episode 2 that was released by Starz, but it was kind of strange that they uploaded another preview, and some of the scenes may even be from episode 3 as well, but who knows, we're just going to have to wait and see. But we're going to run through all things episode 2, the synopsis, any latest images, which there aren't much of at this time of the recording anyway, but we're going to run through what we can expect for the next episode. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as usual, let's start with the synopsis for episode 2, which is titled Selfless Acts, and it's going to be all about Tariq needing to let go of his past to save what's left of his family. Diana helps Monet to repair the business, but sees Monet is distracted. Now Kane takes a lesson from a new ally to get what he wants. So Selfless Acts as the title of the episode, and there is so many ways you can interpret this. For example, Tariq killing Jabari, he knows there's consequences to his actions. He knew the pros of killing Jabari, but do they outweigh the cons? Now he had to kill Jabari for the greater good, and I think we'll see him telling Kane in this week's episode, or maybe next week, that the greater good is them staying out of prison. But he is definitely in a way paying for the consequences of Jabari's death, because this is one death he just can't remove from his thoughts, and he will probably continue struggling with this throughout this season until he can speak to someone about it. The one person who he can't speak to is Tasha, so let's see if he opens up to Braden or maybe Effie at any point of the season. But let's talk about Diana helping Monet repair the business, and how could she possibly helping Monet repair a business? Now she's the link between Kane and Monet. For those of you who remember in season 1, after Lorenzo had Kane beat up by his prison guards, he went missing for a couple of days, and Diana knew where to find him. But Diana told Monet she won't tell him where he is, because he needs to be able to trust somebody, and this is still the case going into season 2. Kane only trusts Diana, and she'll know where to find him, which could possibly be at Shell's house again, which is why we could see this image. It was an image that was released before the season began. It was Monet giving money to Shell. So this is exactly how Diana could help repair Monet's business, especially because in the second preview clip that was released for episode 2, they showed Monet, Kane and Tariq meeting, where Monet thinks Kane and Tariq still have beef. She said they're all back in business together because Kane found a new connect, but they need to squash their beef, not knowing what went down last night, where Kane and Tariq were both implicated in Jabari's murder. So they're already working together with Jabari's death, and now they'll be in business together with Kane and the new connect Mecca, who we'll get to later on in this video. But Monet still seems like she's going to be distracted in this episode to come, and this is a continuation from what we saw in the first episode. The events of Jabari's death is still fresh, and her killing Rico is still fresh as well, because it has only been one day since Jabari and Rico were killed. So she's probably still expecting some sort of blowback after killing Rico, because Monet was getting her product from Rico, but where was he getting his product from? And this leads me on to Mecca. Could he have been the one supplying Rico? It could possibly even explain why he had a plane full of product and no foot soldiers to move it. And it does seem strange that Mecca's conveniently come back to New York at the time where Rico's been killed. We've just seen Mecca, this kingpin, with a plane, supercars, a huge penthouse suite which we'll see in episode 2, but no crew, no soldiers, or anyone else. Where are his people? So hopefully this is the episode where we start to learn more about Mecca's character, who he is, why did he come back to New York, and what's his endgame for the Tarders. I'm sure all of these questions will be answered at some point this season, but I'm sure they'll start to answer some of these questions and give us some sort of information at least with Mecca's character. Now we know he used to hit licks with Big Guap back in the day, and this is the video which I made a few days ago, which I went through how there's more to his background and the secret document that was given to him by Courtney Kemp. So definitely a lot more to learn from his background. But one person who we're going to see working a lot more closely with Mecca is Kane. We're going to see Kane and Mecca striking up this relationship, and Kane telling Mecca that Monet thinks she's been running things for far too long, and now it seems like Kane, he's going to get the position that he's always wanted, but with Mecca instead. Now he does need to be careful of Mecca though, because he's the big bad. He's got some hidden secrets, he's got a hidden agenda, and he's definitely manipulative. But I do think Mecca will start to become this mentor to Kane, and he'll learn a few things from him for sure, but he does need to watch his back at the same time. Now in the second preview for episode 2, which I don't know whether it is for this episode or episode 3, because it was strange how they released 2 previews for the next episode, but anyway, He tells Kane they need more control over Tariq, and I'm sure we've all seen the clip of Kane rolling up to Tariq's room at Stansfield and giving him this huge black eye. I'm not sure if we're going to see this in episode 2 or 3, but I do think they're going to build up to it at least in episode 2. But let's move on and talk about Tariq's problems, because this is the episode we're going to be seeing Yaz being taken away and being put into foster care, something they laid the foundations for in episode 1, with Grandma Estelle's drinking problem and her not looking after Yaz. But could this have been the work of Monet? Because we know Tariq's weaknesses is his family, what's left of his family anyway, which is Yaz. Now Monet will want to keep Tariq under some sort of control, and taking away the one person that Tariq has left in his family away is definitely a ruthless way of doing so. So if this is the work of Monet, then she better watch her back, because Tariq will be seeking some revenge. But we're going to be seeing Tariq seeking some help from Davis McLean in this next episode when Yaz is taken away, but this is going to cost big. We know Davis McLean, he's the most expensive lawyer, and it's going to be even more expensive. Now he's the biggest defense attorney in New York, and he'll definitely be taking Tariq for every single dollar he can get. He made that clear to Sax in episode 1, it doesn't matter if they can help him or not. But with Tariq, it does seem from the trailer and teasers that he'll be helping Diana get in touch with Effie at Yale, because we all know she wants to start moving on her own, so we're going to see the return of Effie and these two girls working together, or maybe Effie helping Diana with something at least, because Diana can see what Effie can do and what she's capable of. And what can Effie do? She's smart, she can move weight, and we're also going to see her throwing her hands and protecting herself in this fight with whoever this is. And this may even be the scene where Brayden's car gets shot up, which we saw in the season trailer. Now a lot of the actors have teased this episode to be one of the big ones where shit really starts to pick up, so I do expect to see some action and all the storylines and plots starting to take shape, especially with the murder investigation. It's going to be starting at Stansfield after Tariq picked up his burner phone, and we're going to see Tariq telling Kane who the number one suspect is at this moment in time, which I think will be Carrie based off the events of episode 1. Now we heard Carrie telling someone this is personal in one of the earlier teasers, and it could be because Kevin Whitman is salty about their past relationship that didn't quite work out. So he's going to be following Carrie, and this might even lead him to seeing Zeke coming out of her apartment. And Zeke could very well find himself under fire as well. I don't know whether this image is from episode 2 or episode 3, but we'll find out soon. But elsewhere in the episode there are a few other storylines that they need to come back to. That's with Congressman Sweeney, Rashad Tate, and 2-Bit as well. And I do wonder if we will see 2-Bit appearing in episode 2, because we all know he still hasn't collected from Tariq. But for those of you who watched my video on 2-Bit being listed for Power Book 4 Force, will know how I think he'll be crossing over to Chicago and joining Tommy at some point. But I still think he has an unfinished story on Ghost, which still needs to be revisited at some point. So it is going to be interesting whenever we do see him on Ghost, and whether that's episode 2, 3, or whenever he does appear. But that's just a breakdown of some of the key storylines and plots with a few characters going into episode 2 of Ghost. Now the actors have teased episode 2 and 5 as one of the biggest episodes of this season, in terms of where it really starts to get going, in terms of setting the whole story for the season. So I'm excited for episode 2, and I was excited for episode 2 when episode 1 finished, but we're here now, and I'll be back with my review and recap next. But drop all your predictions down for episode 2 down below in the comment section, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.